So in this video, we want to talk about SiteGround and how we can set up our WordPress website on SiteGround servers and how we can create our own website with this. Before we start, really important, you will find a link to a SiteGround deal down in the video description, just the first one. And if you use this link, you can click on it and you will land on this page. And at the same time, you're helping me and my channel to grow a little bit. So thank you a lot if you're using my link in the description. And yeah, you will land here on this page, and SiteGround is a very common website hoster for WordPress site. They're very good, they're very safe, and it's quite a good solution, and they have quite a lot of websites online. You can see here they have 4.8 rating on Trustpilot and over 22,000 reviews, and they host over 3 million domains. So they are not new, they are quite common website hoster for WordPress site. So let's start. Click on the link and then click on Start Now, and now we have to choose our package. And here this choice is really simple. You just take the startup plan, because here you get one website and 10 gigabyte of web space. This is quite enough for the beginning for some videos and some pictures. 10 GB is quite some space. And the good part, even in this package, you get a free domain for 1 year. If you choose the annual plan, you get a free SSL certificate, which is the HTTPS encryption for your site. So very important as well. You get a free email domain, for example, contact@yourdomain.com, and you can also migrate your emails and so on. But I think the first three are the best deal, that you get a free domain, email, and SSL certificate. You can later on upgrade. So for example, if you need another website and you want to build another website on your hosting, you can always upgrade to the Grow Big or Go Geek plan. But for the start, it's always nice to start for $3 a month. So get the plan. And now here you simply have to check out. Just type in your credit card information or PayPal, and then you can click here, Pay Now. And once you've done so, you will land on this screen here, and here we can start setting up our site. So just click on Set Up Site. And now you can either select the domain which you have selected before, or you can create a new domain, or if you have an existing domain, then you can also transfer your domain to SiteGround. Or in this case, for my tutorial, I will just select a temporary domain. So if I don't know my domain name yet and I will later on connect it to my site, this would be the third option. And before we do so, really important, I'm based in Germany. That's why it takes the data center in Frankfurt, Germany. But if you are in the US, you can take the data center close to you. But most importantly, the data center should be close to your audience, to the visitors. Because when I, for example, write blog posts in English and I try to rank them in the US, I would also choose to have, like, for example, Texas, because it's quite in the middle, and therefore the loading time of the page will be the fastest. But in this case, my audience is in Germany, so I can choose Frankfurt. But yeah, just make sure that here the data center you've selected, where you will install your WordPress site on, will be the closest to your audience. I will just select the temporary domain, but if you have bought the annual plan, then you can select your new domain, which you have selected before, and then just click Select and Continue. And now you have the option to either migrate your site if you have an existing WordPress site, but I will start my WordPress site in this tutorial from scratch. So I will select Start New Website. And nowadays they have their own SiteGround website builder, but a website builder always has limited options. So I will just go with WordPress, which is the most common content management system. And now, really important, you need a login for your WordPress site, because you don't always have to go via SiteGround, via the My Account area. You can also just type in your domain /vp-admin and then type in your password. And this is the login screen for your website. And it should be very secure, because otherwise people will hijack your website and then it's not your website anymore. So make sure you get a strong password. I will do this really quick and we see us in the next step. And once you've done so, you can click Continue. And here again, they want you to buy something. No, thank you. And I can just click on Finish. And now it takes up to 2 minutes in order for SiteGround to install your site. Back in the days, you had to do this manually and it was quite a lot of work. So I'm very grateful that this only takes 2 minutes and it's fully automatic. Yeah, this took roughly 2 minutes, but now you will land on this page, and here we can either check out our new site. So WordPress sites are always empty at the beginning. Now we need to fill it with some content, and therefore we can access our WordPress admin site. So we can simply log in. And here now there's a quick setup wizard, and you can start with that, or you can exit the wizard on top here, but I will do so and just click start now. And they will ask you what kind of website you want to create. So let's say I'm a photographer and I need a photography website. And here I can select a fancy design. And this is very beginner friendly, but most people choose to have their own theme and their own page builder. But I think since you're starting out, this is good for the beginning. So just take a look at these templates. So if you're happy with this one, for example, then you can just choose it and click select, and then this will be your template. And here in the next step, we can install some plugins. So WordPress lives on plugins. Basically, it's the same as it is on your phone. You just install some apps and then you extend the functionality of your website. For example, if I need an online shop to sell my photos, then I can just click on add shop and it will install the plugin WooCommerce, which will allow me to have my own online store on my website. If I need Google Maps on my site, I will install this plugin. If I need a fancy gallery, I can also click add and it will allow me to have some nicer pictures, frame some galleries on my site. But you don't have to do it now. So if you now already know that you need a shop, you can go ahead and do so, but we can do this later, of course. So I will just click continue, because the rule of thumb is you don't want to have too many plugins on your site because they can slow down your site. And so you want to be very mindful of what kind of plugins you want to install on your site. So here we can also do something about marketing. For example, we can install Google Analytics so we see who comes to our site, and we can also optimize for SEO, and it will also install a plugin all-in-one SEO team. There's actually a better one called Yoast SEO. That's why I would recommend don't do it now, because it will just clutter your site with a lot of plugins. It's basically the same on your phone. You don't want to have too many apps, right? You want to be very cautious what kind of apps you want to install. So after this tutorial, you would need to read on what is the best SEO plugin, what's the best analytics plugin for WordPress, and so on. But I can give you a few tips later on. But for now, I will just complete the setup because I don't want to mess up my site from the start. And now it will install the plugin I have selected. It will just take a minute because it was just one plugin. And congrats, your site is ready, and we can click on manage our site. And now we will land in the dashboard of WordPress, and maybe you have already seen it. It's a quite common view here because this is always how a WordPress website will look like in the backend, because WordPress is the content management system which we have installed on the SiteGround servers, and you can have a different hoster, for example Hostinger, and install WordPress on their servers and it will look the same. So WordPress, as said, is the content management system, and the user interface will always look something like that. And here on the left it will change depending on what kind of plugins you have installed. For example, in our case we have the Otter builder pre-installed, but there's also another page builder called Elementor. I will show you this later on in the tutorial, but for now let's have a quick overview of this admin area, our WordPress dashboard. So here you can either view your site, manage your site, or change the design. And on the left you will see all the menu options. Here you will have all the posts. Posts are the blog posts, because WordPress was built for blogs and magazines and news sites to manage their content. And of course those sites have a lot of content because news are daily, and therefore you don't want to build a new page every time. You just create a new blog post, and you can edit them here. So you can just click on edit, and then you will land on the blog post editor here from Otter Blogs. You can take a quick tour and they will explain it to you. So I will just skip that for now. And here you can start writing your own blog post. You click enter and just type in your text. It's very straightforward. And if you want to type a headline, for example, you just hit slash and then you can just select heading and it will give you a head line. So that's very straightforward, and the editor is quite simple. And you can also put in like images, for example, so you can just upload your own images from your desktop. For example, I just upload a picture of myself, and then I can just continue writing and hey, I am Julian. And you have some more content blocks here. So you have headings, galleries, listing, quotes, and even audios or buttons. So if I want to link to something, I can just enter a button click me. And then most importantly, every button needs to lead to something. So you click on the links symbol, and then you can, I don't know, link to another website, to your shop page, to your social media accounts or whatnot. And if you want to get rid of it, you can of course just delete it and just go on with your text and type in the next paragraph. So having a blog post is very simple. You have the blog post here, and most importantly, you will have to put in like a thumbnail. So you can just replace this image with the preview picture of your blog post, which will be then displayed on your site. And once you've done with the blog post, you can just click save. This one was already published, but if you have a blog post like a new one, if you want to create a new post, you can just click add post, and then you can either publish the post or you can schedule the post. This is also possible that later on during the day or next week it will be published. Yeah, so these are blog posts, just really quick because they are super easy, and whenever you need a new article, you can just do it here. But more importantly are pages, because we want to create a website, and a proper website of course has a homepage, it has a contact page, and has an about me or about us page. And pages are a little bit more complicated because you build pages normally with blocks. For example, if we go to our homepage, we can take a look, and it will look exactly how the setup was done by the template, but now we want to make it our own, and we want to upload our own pictures, and therefore we can click on edit page. And just to make sure that you get the difference, you have pages, which are very static content. So you don't create a homepage every new day, or a contact page. You usually create a contact page at the very beginning, and then it stays there for like years. So pages are very static, and content which doesn't change. So you create a page once, and posts are things which you write every day to get rankings on Google, or where you post updates and so on, right? So you get the idea. So a homepage usually stays the same until you do a redesign next year, for example. So yeah, this is our homepage, and it also works with blogs, and you can also just replace the content here. As we did already, you can just upload your own picture here, and then go on and say, hey, I'm Julian, and then just say hello to the people on your blog. Yeah, you can just type in here, welcome to my photography blog. Here I post weekly new content about my project. And of course, you would be more creative than I am. If you're also a bad writer like me, you can use ChatGPT, just type in your prompt, whatever you want, and then copy paste the text and put it on your page here. And yeah, now you would go on and just fill it with content, write your own texts here, upload your own pictures. And if you want to have a new section, for example, down here, you want to extend the homepage, then you can click here on Design Library. And here you have pre-made templates from the Otter Builder. And for example, we can put in a quote, or we can put it in like a contact section. If people want to contact us directly from the homepage, you can just click Insert, and it will directly put this here. And you can put in your own number, put in your own email address, your address. And here you have the contact form, and you can change the labels. You can add new fields to it, and you can here link your social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and whatever this is. If you don't have it, you can just delete it. So this is very straightforward, and I don't want to use too much of your time explaining the whole thing. You can just play around with it. Whenever you want to have a new content block, you can just go here, Design Library, and then search for it. Some are premium designs, templates, but a lot of them are free. So for example, I would be, as said, a photographer, and therefore I need a new gallery, and then I can just place my gallery here, and it's quite nice. So yeah, these are blocks and sections, and the sections always divided in different columns. So here, for example, this is the left column and the right column. And if I put in a new block, for example, you can also do this with a slash and put in anything here. For example, a section, then I can say, okay, do I want a full width section, or 50-50, or 1/3 and 2/3? And you can just put it however you like, and then you can fill it also with content. I would upload an image here, put in a headline and a paragraph here, and then I would have built my own section. But as you see, these look kind of ugly, so I would just undo this here really quickly. And at the beginning, I would definitely recommend you stick to the templates from Otter Builder, because they look quite nice, they're pre-built, and I'm sure you don't really need more than these at the beginning. You can also put in your team here, and then you just click insert and it will put in your team, and then you can upload, of course, your own team pictures as you like. So this is how you edit a page. If you need like single items, content pieces, then you can click here on the plus sign, and here you have all the things from the Otter builder, for example, social media sharing things, checkout, image slider, timeline, and the more basic things which come from WordPress itself, like texts and headings, you can just put them here, tables, galleries, and even audio, and you can just drag them in here and then upload your own audio files. So for example, Jake Austin could have some audio greeting the people on your website. I don't know, doesn't really make sense. That's why I meant that you have to play around with it yourself. But here you have all the content elements like videos, pictures, galleries, separators, calendars, and shortcodes, social media icons, and so on. This is the stuff you need to then just drag in here, but you most often start with like a full design template from Otter Builder in this case. So yeah, this is your homepage. We are on the homepage, but of course you have different pages. And if you want to create a new page, of course we always need to save. So our changes are saved. We can go back to our dashboard, and you would do the same with the contact page, for example. Just go here and upload your picture, put in like the contact form, which we just had, this one, and then people can contact you. But I want to show you what you can actually do when you want to add a new page. So for example, I would create a page like, I don't know, picture project New York. So I would upload some pictures from my New York trip here. Then I can just put in the gallery, which we already talked about. So this one, for example, so this would be then my gallery. Here I would just type something about New York, upload my pictures. And now I can go here on the page and just publish it. And then the page is published under this domain. We can view the page. And since I didn't bought a professional domain yet, I have this dummy domain, but you can see it always takes the headline. So picture project New York, and this is the URL slug. So this is really important that you know this, because if you share the link later on, this is your URL. And you should use some keywords here, because then you will be placed on Google and Google will find you. But most importantly, I do want to link my page now in the menu here. So I can just go back to WordPress, and then you go on appearance and you have the menus here. So you don't do this in the front end, you do this in the back end. I could change something about this. For example, I can add something new, but I would just use the tab Adventures and call it my projects. Click Save. And now I want my picture project New York under my project as like a subcategory or a submenu. And therefore I just select it here, click add, and then now I can drag it up and place it here, and now it's a sub item, a subcategory of my project. I can undo this so it will be its own menu item, but in this case I think this is fine because it should be under my projects. Click save, and now we can go back to my site. Just click on view site. Here I just uploaded my picture and everything, and then under my project I will see my picture project New York. So this is how you would create your own site. You just create a new page and then you put the page under your menu items, and you do this here inside appearance and menus. These are the basics. So we talked about how you can do a post, how you can have pages, and most importantly, you have the blog page where you will find all your blogs, and you can just click on it and then edit the post and make it your own. So we already did this one, and yeah, you can just replace the title image and so on. So we talked about post. Media is also self-explanatory. The items or the pictures or videos which we upload will land here, so we can take care of this here. And then you of course have comments. If someone comments on your pictures from New York, then you can answer the comments in here. So these are the very, very basic stuff from WordPress, and you can do so right now. You have the Otter builder pre-installed and you have the Neff theme, and of course you can change that, and you don't need to do it now, but I would recommend that you take a look at your site. And if you don't like the appearance of your site, then you can choose a new theme and it will change the whole look and feel of your website. And I would rather do it now instead of later, because this will, as said, change the whole appearance of your site. So therefore you click here on appearance, then on themes, and here you see the most common themes. This is the pre-installed one from WordPress, normally 2025, but this will change every year because here you have 2024, 2022 and so on, or 2023. These are not good themes. They just so common and popular because they always pre-installed. The most popular one is actually Elementor, Hello Elementor, because this is the theme from the most common page builder. But you also have an Astra theme, a Cadence theme, Ocean VP. I worked with all of these themes. They are quite common, but they are also a little bit more advanced. This Neff theme is very easy compared to Hello Elementor. So you need to make up your mind if you want to do so now or maybe later on. I just want to show you because I don't want to hold this back from you, but I don't want to overwhelm you with all of this because it can be quite complicated at the beginning, starting with Hello Elementor. But now you heard it, you make up your mind and you use it or not. If you do so, you go here under plugins and you can add plugins up here and go on popular, and you will see that the Elementor plugin is also the most common plugin there for WordPress because so many people use it. And here you also have other plugins like Contact Form 7. Here you have the Yoast SEO plugin, which I mentioned, which is the most common one to get your site on Google, WooCommerce for online stores and so on. But as you now already feel, this is quite a lot to process. I just wanted to show you how to set up your WordPress site on SiteGround, which we did right now. The site is online under your own domain if you have purchased one at the beginning, and you know how to edit the menu and create your own contact and change the sites like the About Me sites and create your own first blog post. And this is the most important part. I would recommend that you start with this and put up some content, upload your own pictures and so on, because this is the most fun part. And later on you can take a look at a new theme or new plugins which you install, because at the beginning this can be quite overwhelming. So yeah, thank you a lot for listening. If you liked it, please feel free to use my link down in the video description. It will also give you the best deal on SiteGround, the $2.99 per month for the first 12 months. And if you have any questions, you will always have the comment section down here. And if you're down there, please give it a thumbs up. It will tell YouTube that this was a good video. And thank you for listening. See you in the next video, and goodbye.